All right, so hi. English, French, Espanol.
Questions are in English.
Let's talk in English. Hi guys, my name is Gab. I am right now in Bangkok, the noisy streets of Bangkok at night. You empty this little hotel that we're here. You're right on the big boulevard. It's called Sukhumvit, and then it's massage, fruit, weed shop, tailor, massage, fruit, weed shop, and it's that till the border. But we just came back from a super mall. It's called Terminal 21, and every story is like a city. And at the city San Francisco level 5, there is a food court that normally I don't eat in food courts of shopping malls. But this food court is special. It's so cheap and so good. So anyway, we just came back and this is a test. First time we're recording out in the wild. So we just trade a better funky background for more noise. So, and today I received a list of questions. I lived some kind of a dream by receiving a list of questions. And I'm going to take the microphone in my hand and then talk very close to make sure that we have a better sound as best as possible. And because she, like the girl next door, chose the moment now to broom the floor. And by the way, that's the girl. I am not talking to my girlfriend. That is the girl who keeps joking, like, "Where's your wife? She's asleep. You come for massage. She's asleep, and then you go back." So, anyway, today we're not even gonna talk about Bangkok because I lived a dream of sorts, and I received a list of questions for the first time. They weren't my questions, and that's what I wanted to do the whole time, basically answering questions that I didn't create, like that some people have. And then I found a way to find those questions, but even then, when I'm answering them, the element of surprise is lost. So it's not like a real conversation. But now, my beautiful girlfriend agreed to once more be the question asker. And the topic is Italy. And it's a it's one of my favorite places, so that's gonna be easy. Because, well, first of all, again, my girlfriend is half Italian, comes from the womb of Sicily, and half come from the womb of Sicily. The other half come from the womb of Budapest. And but before I knew her, I went and spent a long time, like a month in Italy, and it was a pretty good time. We arrived, a bunch of guys from Quebec, met two girls from Quebec, then rented an entire room with 4 beds. We were six. We just six. We just like put all the beds together, slept six in 4 bed that made a giant 2 king size bed. If we could save $10 and reinvest it in money back then, we would. So anyway, we had a great time in Rome and then Florence, Venice, uh, where else? Pisa, got the picture with the leaning tower, the classic. Then we went back, Naples, Positano, Capri, La Côte Amalfitaine, the Amalfi Coast. Is that it? No, yeah. Loved it again. Food is incredible. And last time that we went, that was a pretty cool trip too. Jacques, one of our friends, invited us, and we just like left the three of us, rented a car, and then we drove from Naples all the way down to Sicily. And it's there that I kind of fell in love with the a place. Because so far I liked Italy, the country, but I never found like my city in Italy. And when we were like driving down, we were kind of, it was the secondary, like first mission was to have fun. Secondary mission was to find our home in Italy, more or less. And we ended up finding it at the western tip of the Sicilian coast. So the one that has the sunset. And there is a kite surfing spot there. The town is called Lo Stagnone. And it's that's not a town. That's basically just a road, but it's between two mid-sized towns. One was called, my memory is Marsala, and the other one, do you remember? Trapani, exactly. And actually, there are flights with Ryanair that land at the military airport that is there. So we want to go back. We rented a house for a week, and we would just like go. Chuck and I were like old Italian men, chilling at coffee for hours, talking shit till the church would ring their bells at noon for about 17 minutes. It was insane. So we were like, oh, 11:59, time to go. Because like, they would ruin the entire 20 minute that would follow. But great town. It's there that I had my first kite surfing lesson. And the first time you get this giant like balloon like in your hands, you're like, hey, this is so big. And then with two people, you can like one is at the end, he drops it in the air, and then you have like a kite, a giant kite that is tied to you. And like this is not so good. And it like, okay, let's take it slow, a little to the left, a little to the right. And then at some point you do something you're not supposed to. The kite went like, and then I flew, like just like scraped the top of the water like for 20 meters. All right. I was like, oh. So now they are selling, that's some kind of frog, dried frog. That's good. That's good branding right there. The dried frog have a sound. And so that's where I fell in love with Italy. And I want to go back. And also, last time we were in Chamonix in France, we saw, I didn't know, that there is a tunnel underneath Le Mont Blanc, which is the highest mountains of the Alps. And there's a tunnel that you just like, you exit on the other side in Italy. So how cool is that? Then you get to see the other side of the mountain in Italy. So we have two places to go now. We have the Italian Alps that I never saw. And we have Lo Stagnone, where we need to go back. And that's a quick overview of my experience in Italy. And I skipped over a few stories that I'll be able to tell in a future, like camera, microphone, podcast thingy. But I'm ready to take a few questions on Italy. Italy is in Europe. Where is Italy? Ah, no markers. No markers. And so, where is Italy? Italy is in Europe. It's actually cool. It's a volcanic, or at the junction of two tectonic plates, and there is a geological like volcano type activity there. Like, I mean, just think of Pompeii, which was like a city that got wiped by a volcano in like half a second. So now you can like, they dug it out and you can visit it. So that's the best ruins I've seen in my life are actually Pompeii. And back then it was like, oh, there's a volcano nearby, and I didn't like think anything about it. But after many travels, I now see that it's pretty rare. And everywhere there are volcanoes. It's kind of a crack in the earth crust or something happening, like interesting there. And you can see that Italy is very something like it's crazy. There are like cliffs that go in the water. So it's like an entire peninsula that go down the Mediterranean Sea. And you have volcanoes, cliffs, beaches, like islands. It's a pretty positive place. But yeah, it's in Europe. When is the best time to visit Italy? I would say that it's either just before summer or just after summer. I mean, they have like it's one of the most touristic place in the world. When it's full of tourists, it's already touristic. Like it's always touristic there. So if you're just before the touristic season, there's still gonna be a lot of tourists, but not as much as July and August, which is just insane. Then it's not so fun. We went to the Amalfi Coast, for example, in May, and already there was like a lot of people. So it wasn't like so just before high season, just after high season.
Is it Italy cheap to visit?
Is Italy cheap to visit? Um, yes. No. It's hard to tell. Food is relatively cheap. Like I mean, you can feed yourself for um decent amount of money, and then like public transportation is acceptable. Um, Grocery stores are surprisingly cheap, cheaper than Canada for sure. Then restaurant, you have expensive, you have cheap. And then let's say renting a car. Oops, that was expensive. And wine, wine is cheap. Is that the question? No, okay. So is wine cheap in Italy? Yes. Like the ratio quality price of wine in Italy is definitely off the chart. It's incredible. So I'd say it's a middle country, not cheap, not expensive. I've seen worse than I've seen better. Like here, much better.
What is Italy best known for?
What is Italy best known for? So Italy will be known for food, that's for sure. I mean, just like spaghetti sauce. Spaghetti has to be like maybe it has to be the most eaten dish. I don't know, maybe not in sheer number because of Asia and the rice and pork or rice and egg. But spaghetti has to be in the West, like the most eaten thing. I mean, every kid loves spaghetti from like year one to year 91. We all love it. And then tomato sauce, incredible. But then they have all these dishes like they have like all those pizza and focaccia and like oh pizza maybe it's even more popular than spaghetti actually. Like I might be I might be wrong there. And they had like all those interesting two things there too that I didn't know they had, like a mishmash of potatoes and green fresh thing. They have a lot of fresh vegetables actually there. Um, so I'd say
What was your favorite dish?
uh, like food is what Italy is mainly known for. The second thing it would be their like empire that they had, like the Roman Empire. They're pretty known for that. And you can see a bit of ruins here and there and some traces, like in Rome, especially. But I gotta say that Pompeii, best ruin of Italy that I've seen. What was your question? Italy is known for fashion, says my girlfriend, and I agree. Milan. Milan is like the town that would be known for like shoes and purses. Oh, they're known for their mafia too. They had a pretty formidable mafia, pretty horrible mafia. Fuck them. Oops.
What are three traditional Italian foods you must try?
What are three traditional Italian food you must try? So I will go with my favorite dish of all time, polpette. It's meatballs with spaghetti sauce. They just drop the pasta. They go straight to the point. The meatballs with fresh sauce. So that has to be tried. Then I don't want to answer like again spaghetti and pizza, but it's still what they're known for. And I will go with something else. Burrata. So if you don't know that cheese, it's like a blob, a white blob of fat and salt. And then it holds together like you buy it in the juice. It's all like, ee. And then you take it off of the juice, it holds in your hand like it's just about to break. And as soon as you break it, it's just full of fat and cheese and milk on your salad or things. It's like pretty incredible. And then the third one, I'll also name a cheese. Mozzarella di Buffalo. I guess it's made out of buffalo milk, which like I'd never seen buffalo there. One time maybe. It's again an incredible ball of fat and salt. It's great. I love it. Mozzarella di Buffalo.
What are the top three things you like about it?
What are the top three things I like about Italy? So I like I'd say the landscape, which will include the mountains and the cities built in the mountains. It's a pretty like a rocky landscape. And their town are built like on cliffs sometimes, just overlooking the sea. It's like the landscape are amazing in Italy. And I've never seen the Italian Alps, which I am sure will be very, how do you say, satisfying. And a third one, I will say, what's the question?
Things you like about Italy.
Top three things I like about Italy. So then I've seen the mountains. I've seen them from the other side. So the mountains, the Alps are a formidable, second time I use that word, formidable mountain range.
What's one thing you dislike about it?
What's one thing I dislike about Italy? The cities are pretty chaotic, noisy. They're not that fun to walk either. It's like it depends on the size, but most of the time it's not that nice. The smaller town are nice, but in Italy, you reach a size, let's say there's 100,000 people or more. Nah, it's not like that's not it. There 5,000 to 20,000 people town are amazing. I will focus on them.
What's it like driving around it all?
What it's like driving around in Italy? Well, it's perfect, great. They have great roads, and you just like. Okay, I have an answer. Like in two times, like their highways, perfect. It's like a good highway system. It's well indicated. Everybody drives at the limit, more or less. The traffic, it goes well. It's perfect. So that's it. Then inside the towns, those towns were built 2,000 years ago or more, and they were based on horses' size. So with the SUV, it's a little short between the streets. You're like literally, there's a door in your car. You're like, ah, and here there's another door. So that was less pleasant, I would say, but still, like, I didn't care that much, to be honest. But that's me. I know that some other people, I was just like, ah, it's gonna go. We'll take our time. Like, whoop, 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 whoop. Just fold the mirrors. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Ah, there we go. I wasn't that bad. It's cool driving in Italy. I will do it again.
What is the best transportation method in Italy?
What is the best transportation method in Italy? Train. They literally go everywhere. Even the smallest of town, they seem to be connected to the train. But I now remember that some trains, they are high-speed trains, super modern, and some trains are very shitty. They go slow, and it's just like old rusty train that takes forever. Um, I think I will change my answer. Cars. Cars win again. Roads go everywhere. That's it. Car is more fun.
Did someone go visit a vineyard?
Should someone go visit a vineyard in Italy? So that's the first, like, the last trip that we did was the fifth time I go to Italy or something like that. And it was the first time I visited a vineyard. So you can definitely go to Italy without visiting a vineyard. I did it 4 times. But we got to visit a vineyard. It was like not planned by me. But then I ended up liking it because you get to meet them. You walk around in the field. They show you how to like cut the grapes and everything. And that was pretty cool. And then a second time we visited, we thought we would go like to the field, but it was just the old guys hangout spot to drink with his buddy. And we were alone. And we arrived. He was like, all right, where are you from? Canada. On va parler français. And he just opened the first, and he made us taste like those 17 wine. It was like 2 a.m., 2 p.m., and we were like a little tipsy. And then he invited us to his house the next day. And then we had food, more wine. It was pretty cool. So one of a good travel experience. So I definitely say that now I will be more open to visiting vineyard when we go back.
Do people speak English in Italy?
Do people speak English in Italy? Yes. They will be able to tell you to turn left and right, but to have like a deep, meaningful conversation in English, I'd say with half the people, it's possible. So it's definitely possible. But the other half, they're like, lascia stare, lascia stare.
Do you need a visa to travel to Italy?
Do you need a visa to travel to Italy? That depends on where you're from. And I would suggest you visit your country's website or whatever. I'm Canadian and I don't need a visa. I have a touristic visa stamped on my passport for 90 days out of 180. That means that I can go to Europe 3 months, then leave 3 months, come back 3 months, then leave 3 months. That's the rule for Canadians. I wouldn't be able to answer for any other country.
What's your best memory of Italy?
What's my best memory of Italy? There was that meal that you cooked on the little house that we had rented in Lo Stagnone, and you did miracles. And that was the beginning of your YouTube journey when you still thought you would cook. Ah, baby, your little bruschetta, they keep me awake sometimes at night.
Is the South very different from the North?
Is the south of Italy very different from the north? Well, it's like almost two countries. It's like the north is a rich Western European country with like, it's different, like industries, everything. And then in the south, it's poorer. It's a different climate. It's way more warm. So it's a different also, like the way the cities are built. It's like more all like it cracks under the sun of July or something. So all the buildings are pretty like broken down and everything. So it's like it is like two different countries, to be honest. So it is very different, the north and the south. I like both.
You get to Sicily.
How do you get to Sicily? So by car, there is a ferry that will cross from the tip of the toe of Italy to the to Sicily, the balloon of Italy, and you just take a ferry, and it's not even 30 minutes. It's very close, and I don't know what. There's no bridge there, but there's no bridges there, so that's how you go. There are also like a ton of airports in Sicily, so you can fly there pretty easily.
How to plan your trip?
How to plan your trip to Italy? That's a question for someone else. I'm more the guy of how can I go to Italy without planning my trip? Ah, then I'm your guy. It's like, why do you need to plan? It's a big country with like about a jillion hotel room. You will not have a hard time sleeping. There's also about a jillion restaurants, so eating is pretty easy. So I would say, like, just go and rent a car and drive around, like, or you can do it the way we did it back in the days, which was train and bus around. Also good. Also very good. That's it. Bye bye. That's it, guys. It was my first outside podcast thingy. I am not sure that the sound is gonna be good. Let's see later. But how do you like it with the lights and the background and everything? I liked it. How did you like it, baby?
I like this.
She liked it. That's it. Yay! Bye.